Happy Sunday, November 19th. Welcome to NFL Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. 8 top cappers giving out their best sides, totals, and player props. Big week 11 of NFL action ahead of us. Great to see all you guys in the chat. Justin McElvey ready to rock. Stacks play of the day. James Conner anytime touchdown at plus 104. Man, Bear, Pig, Sammy Calmer. Big show picks coming through with his action. Max Crosby sack. 60 plus and 100 plus for Marquise Hollywood Brown. 70 plus and plus 165 for Adam Thielen. Rocking with us. Big show picks. We got Swiss Horton ready to go. Slatsy 45 cashing on Nylander, scoring again over in Sweden. On to NFL and the Grey Cup, he says. My guy Slatsy. Now it's Ken Mizrahi, Tasha, Burgundy, Betts, Adrian Bird. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. We have a great show, and hitting leadoff are two number one cappers thus far this year. Our guy Marley from Brothers and Betts. He has been rolling incredibly well here on this show to start off this campaign for him. He's second overall out of 25 cappers. Marley sitting here 9-3 plus 6 units. And then our leader, Big Ragu, goes right after Marley. So we're hitting you guys off the top with our top two guys. Big Ragu 28-19 plus 8.88 units. Running real nice here. Then we have Razor Sharp Picks back in business with us. It's been too long since he's joined us. Sean Higgs, Peter Loshak, Spenny Penny Bombs, Alex Pavone, and Connor Mack shutting it, putting a bow on it, shutting the door for beginning of the action for us. There is Primetime 99. Dan Kelly just got on Kareem Hunt over 1.5 receptions at plus 160. Bo Jackson ready to go. Gagnon in the house. Doug C. Bo Henny. A great group ready to get to work. So I was a little gun shy after a bad week last week in NFL, which put me just slightly into the red on the campaign. And I only moved on 2 spots. There was a bunch I wanted to make. And the main bets I wanted to make were Broncos -2 and Denver, Minnesota under 43. But I was just waiting for Justin Jefferson to be announced in. He's not playing today. And that's gone down to 41.5 and 3. And I haven't bet it. I was going to move on Rams +1. Wanted to think on it. Well, it's -2 by the time I bet it. Bills -7. I had to spend 11 cents of juice at Pinnacle to get in on the -7. I said as soon as Micah Hyde is announced in, I'm going to be in on them. And then Panthers +10.5. I've moved on. I still haven't moved on the Browns. I get it at a pick 'em at -2.5. Not so much. There's a market move towards the Steelers right now, which we will discuss. And maybe I come in on the Browns. But that's the situation. So I've only made 5 bets at this point. And the only real additions would be the Browns as a possibility. And of course, the Broncos, Denver, Minnesota under. I wanted 43 to be the number. That was what I needed to have. I needed the 23-20 final score to be a push. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe just include it in the same game parlay for our live stream tonight. I haven't really decided. So that is my action and my situation. SJ Gagnon, Ken Mizrahi, Terry Walker, JB, Gerald Jones, Troy Torrance in the house, Harold Williams. Great group. So that's my situation. For our Pub Sports Circa Millions, we are 28-20-2, 3 straight winning weeks. We've broken into the top 800. Top 100 get paid. We're 3.5 points out of the top 100. We have the Bills -7, the Browns at the pick'em, Eagles +2.5, Chargers -3, and Dolphins -13.5. 13.5. That one dude says, sup to me, those 2 picks, Broncos and Rams, are money. Don't second guess it. Let's get the money. I know, but I mean, I'm still going to end up on the Broncos, I imagine. I just beating myself up for waiting and Jefferson not being in. Everything he said, I shouldn't have bought into everything he was talking about all week. I thought that it was a smart move. It is not. Rogue Energy says Kansas City Monday night. He's liking the Chiefs. Slatsy looking at the Browns. Brian Robertson, 100+ receiving yards here for Gagnon. And Eagles money line for Tasha. The big injury news right now is Justin Jefferson is out. So Of course, I just mentioned that off the top. Dorian Thompson-Robinson starting for the Cleveland Browns. I know you guys are all aware of that. You can see by the market move towards the Bears that both Justin Fields and Khalil Herbert are both good to go. Devon Achane is ready to rock for the Dolphins. And for the Carolina Panthers, Brian Burns is back after missing last week with a concussion. So that is the situation. We've got Marley setting up his shot right now, so he will be in here in a second. And Justin McElvey celebrating 1 year with Pub Sports. Dax Play Day. Rolling Life is good. Much love to you, Justin McElvey, my guy. And primetime, looking at Dobbs over 30.5 rushing yards. Big O got a boost on Cooper Kupp TD, Puka TD, and Rams to win at plus 675. That is a big price. Doug sees Max betting the Broncos on the money line. While we're waiting for Marley to join us, I'm just really irritated that I thought Jefferson would be, and I don't know why. I should have just moved on it on Tuesday evening. So that's upsetting here. Upsetting when waiting on these market moves and having a certain expectation and then sitting back and seeing the line move against you is frustrating as sports gambling gets. And I was extremely frustrated, and that's kind of held me off here. But I am excited. I'm excited to be here with you guys. There's Razor Sharp Picks in the house, and he will be joining us here. We're excited to have him rolling with us. So Marley will be here shortly. So let's go over some of the biggest market moves that we've seen and where is the cash as we get ready to start this show off. Let's get this up here and get our cash flow. Also, there are just 4 of us left in the Pub Sports Radio Survivor Pool. Peter Loshak and myself are 2 of them. 3 of us, including Drug Monkey RX, are on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then Tim Crowley, our friend of Troy Torrance's, he is on the Cowboys. So if the Jaguars lose today outright, Crowley will be up $3,600. $3,600 for him. All right, so let's get this up right now here and go over just the most public spots. The most public spots here on the board as we're waiting for Marley. Marley better get here soon. I will message him once more. Said he's just setting up, but we have 8 cappers on the show today, and we're going to be moving very quickly. So let's get him. Need you. We need you now, baby. We need you now, Marley. All right, so here are the most public spots before we have a cavalcade of stars here for us on Pub Sports Radio. The Jaguars are very public, 72% of the tickets and 46% of the cash. That makes me nervous. But I do think it's an okay bounce back scenario. I do think that Levis can be better on the road than he's shown us thus far in his career. The Packers have been sharp action all week, 32% of the tickets, 44% of the cash. The Giants have been sharp action all week. It's hard to imagine that the sharps are all over them, but they have been 47% of tickets, 72% of cash. The Dolphins are extremely public, 84% of the tickets, 89% of the cash. I've often been very concerned about moving on big favorites like that, but I did move on the Dolphins at minus 12 on Tuesday. So I did do that. Then we have a public spot on the cards, public road dog, 67% of the tickets, 75% of the cash. We have sharp action on the Bears, 35% of tickets, 60% of cash. We have the Steelers as public, 69% and 75%. But we can imagine that a lot of money moved quickly as soon as Deshaun Watson was announced out, trying to find some books slow to the move. Panthers have been sharp all week, 31% of the tickets, 72% of the cash. Buccaneers, sharp all week, but the line's been moving against them. 26% of the tickets, 46% of cash. Rams, very public, but dog to favorite. Jets, sharp, but the market moving heavy against them. So I feel fine there. 65% of the tickets on the Bills, 23% of the cash. As soon as Micah was announced in, I pounced. Broncos, 43% of the tickets, 64% of the cash I want in there. And then the Eagles, Chiefs has been 50-50 action all week. All right, let's bring on your first guest and start rolling through this card. Your first guest has been nothing short of exceptional here. Sitting here at 9-3 plus 6 units. He is 2.88 units out of number 1 overall. And saturated, my man. Our Cappers contest picks one more time. I will just pop them into the chat for you guys here. This is our cappers contest action. 28, 20, and 2. And there it is. Dolphins is number 1, and it just didn't show up as the number 1 spot there. But all right, let's go. We head to the great state of Texas. His boys' football team that he coaches has reached the Super Bowl. He's off to that game right after that. And congratulations for all of your success as a coach. Very, very impressive. Part of Brothers and Betts, second overall out of 25 cappers here on Pub Sports Radio, NFL Pub Hub. Time to get to work. Thank you for joining us. Please welcome Marley Betts to the show. Marley, how are you, my man?
Let's go. Fired up, Jimmy. Fired up.
I love it. I love it. Big day for you and the football team that you coach. Congratulations on that. You're such a great leader for all these kids to look up to. It's so important in our communities and our society to have guys to look up to. And I'm so happy that group has you to look up to. Great work there. Let's get right to work. We start at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Dallas Cowboys 6-3, 2-3 on the road. The Carolina Panthers 1-8, 1-3 at home. We're at Bank of America Stadium. Charlotte, North Carolina, 62 Fahrenheit, sunny 3 miles per hour. Now, you have had an incredible read on these Dallas Cowboys throughout your run here on our show. This total is sitting at pinnacle at 42. We do see 42.5. There's some 43s at some shady books. This one, though, 42 and juice to the over at minus 115. 42 juice to the over, and it opened up at 42, slightly juiced to the under. So at Pinnacle, there's just been a 9-cent move to the over. From a point spread scenario, we have been sitting at 10.5 all week, despite sharp money on Carolina and the public on Dallas. It's been sitting here at 10.5, and there most of this time that 10.5 is being juiced to the Panthers, and it's still slightly, but most of the time it's been double-digit juiced to the Panthers. From a cash flow standpoint, we did just discuss this game a little bit. We have, I thought I had this up here. From a cash flow standpoint, we have 32% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Panthers. On the total, we have 28% of the tickets and 70% of cash on the under. You have the markets moving towards the over. And Ron Crawford gave us the spreadsheet play today on the Carolina Panthers. Cowboys are as healthy as they've been all year, and the Panthers have been injured and beat up all year, and it's no different today. Marquise Haynes Sr., their linebacker, out. Back injury. Hayden Hurst still out with the concussion. And then 2 cornerbacks are out, CJ Henderson and JC Horn. That hurts them a lot, but they've been pretty good. I know we're sitting here talking about a 1-8 team, but they've been pretty good handling these injuries. Take it away for us, Marley. Your game 1, Cowboys-Panthers.
All right, I'm going to pick it up right there where you left off. Despite the numbers that we've seen from the Panthers, their defense is actually, despite the record, their defense has actually been pretty good. I got them at rank 7 total deep overall in total defense. So with that being said, I'm going to go with the under here, 42.5. I do like the Cowboys. I honestly did take the 10 earlier this week just because the Cowboys beat up on bad teams. That's what they do. When it comes to playing top tier teams in the league, Dak seems to struggle. But if you look at the last couple of weeks, Dak overall, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, over 2,400 yards, 72.6 QBR. That's third. I think over the last 4 games, he's second in QBR. And for me, Jimmy, the way I cap these games, this is a quarterback-driven league. I bet on teams with the better quarterback at the end of the day. Yes, we got a lot of variables that we look up and numbers that we tend to lean to on the side. But at the end of the day, I'm taking the team with the better quarterback. Here, though, we got a defensive matchup. I know we can't look at the 1-8. Carolina's defense is solid. It's not the best, but they're not bad. I don't think we get to 42, mainly because the Dallas Cowboys defense and Bryce Young is, I don't want to say Bryce Young is terrible. He just doesn't have any help offensively. Adam Thielen, old man Adam Thielen is his leading receiver right now. He's only thrown for 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's 30 QBRs at 33.1. That's 31st overall. He's pretty much at the bottom or near the bottom of every passing category as well as the offense. So I don't think we get a lot of points here. Last week, I took the Cowboys and we took the over at the 30 because I knew the Giants were going to just give it up. I knew the Cowboys would get at least 30 offensively by themselves. I don't know if they crack 30. I think they get 28, 24, maybe 27. And I'm not seeing the Panthers cracking over 10. So I think it's close, but I think we fall under the total here at 42.5.
Well, this total is climbing, not at Pinnacle at the moment, but at other books. We can get you a 43.5 available at Bookmaker right now with very low, well, not just a tiny 2 cents it'll cost you. So it'll be under 43.5 at minus 112 is the best line. Give you an extra point of room on Cowboys Panthers. Let's move on to the second game on the board here for Marley. Chargers at Packers, Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. 45 Fahrenheit, sunny, 6 miles per hour. Gerald Everett still dealing with the chest issue. He is not back, and JT Woods is not playing either. Keenan Allen's been on the injury report all week, but he's going to be fine, and Jalen Guyton going to be good as well. They're both being in the lineup. For the Packers, Rudy Ford is doubtful. And Rashawn Gary, Jair Alexander, and Quay Walker, 3 very important defenders, look to all be in the lineup today. Let's get into the line history here for this one. The second spot on the board for Marley here. We have, as we've watched all week, sharps on the Packers. This opened up at plus 3.5, and it lasted there for 54 minutes. Since then, the Packers have gone from a +3 at plus money to +3 juiced up to minus 114. And right now they're at minus 110. If you want the Chargers -3, you're getting that at even money. No VIG, which is a big surprise from an X's and O's standpoint. But the Sharps have been on the Packers all week. From a total scenario here, we are dealing with a 44. It is minus 112 to the over. This opened at 44. It hasn't got off 44. There's been times where that over has been juiced up to minus 115. Right now, it's sitting at minus 112. So we've had 6 cents of movement over there. And from the cash point of view, we talked about it off the top. 32% of the tickets and 46% of the cash on the Packers, and 41% of the tickets and 50% of cash on the under. Take it away for us here, Marley. Game number 2 for you, Chargers, Packers.
I'm right back on the total, Jimmy. I like this to go over. Let me tell you why. This is, in particular with the Chargers, this defense is terrible. We saw how the Lions carved them up. They're 31st in yards allowed. They're near the bottom or at the bottom in every passing category statistically. The Lions did everything they wanted to do. And this is basically going to come down primarily to, can the Packers run the ball on the Chargers? Because we know, or at least I think I've been on the Packers the last 2 times I've been on the show. We talk about how Jordan Love is probably right now, I would say, not the guy, but questions still out for him. He's not somebody I would want to depend on. I definitely wouldn't take the 2.5 just because you're getting the worst of the line. 3.5 sounds good. I might be with the Sharps. They're coming off a bye week, but he's still only thrown for 2,000 yards, 14 TDs, 10 interceptions, 46 QBR, which I don't love, 22nd overall. Meanwhile, Herbert's been carving them up. Over 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. They're 11 total in total offense, 8th in passing. So I do think we get points here, but Keenan Allen injury concerns me, and that's what keeps me off of the side personally. But I do think even without, you got to understand too, without Keenan Allen, he's already down Mike Williams, so he's going to be down like 2 of his 3 best receivers.
But he's in.
But I think the Packers are down both their safeties. Mm-hmm. Allen is in.
Keenan is playing.
Allen is in. Oh, so I love my total even better. Oh, makes me love the total even more. So I don't think the Packers will be able to stop the Chargers offensively, but I do think coming off a bye week, getting a little bit healthier, extra week to prepare, I do think they possibly can slow them down, and I do think Jordan Love can muster up some offense against this terrible Chargers pass defense. So I think we climb over the total here. I like the over 44. I want to go with those Chargers, but I can't do it, man. I'm not sure about the health of Keenan Allen. I mean, I know he's playing, but how healthy is he? You got Packers coming off a bye. I'm a little concerned there with that line. So give me the over though, 44.
You got over 44 minus 105. That's available at a few different books. Although Bovada's moved it up to 44.5, and we know that Pinnacle has it juiced. So it's surprised that some books have it juiced to the under still at 44. And if I agree, if you're going to go up against the Sharps, which is, you can do it. You just have to have conviction behind your plan. And if you are, not full of conviction, then just, I don't think it's a profitable move going up against all these Sharps, even though it's hard to understand really for me why they're
and I don't trust Staley.
No, God, no. I agree. He is a very
I don't trust the head
questionable.
coach.
And we got big shows on Chargers -4 plus 107. Says a little scared of the cold travel, but you always have to worry about that. Let's move on to the final spot for our guy Marley. It is the Chicago Bears 3-7, 1-4 on the road. Detroit Lions 7-2, 3-1 at home at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Big story here: Justin Fields, Khalil Herbert, both good to go. So we've seen a big line move towards them. For the Lions, they're a pretty healthy group right now, although Jonah Jackson on their offensive line is out. So is Isaiah Buggs with an illness, but that's not as big of a deal as Jonah Jackson being out. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We'll move into the spread first and foremost, and this move has been constant since the announcement of Fields. The first move was towards the Lions when we did our show on Tuesday night. The Lions were minus 10.5 point favorites. That's gone down to 8 and 7.5. If you want the Lions right now, -8, that's a plus money proposition, plus 103, but there's lots of 7.5s on the board. From a total standpoint, we are dealing with 48s and a couple 48.5s. Pinnacle has this at 48 at a pick'em. This opened up at 47, so we've gone up 1 point. We get over to the cash flow for this spot here. We have 65% of the tickets on the Lions and 37% of the cash. I'd be uncomfortable with that spot. And then 47% of the tickets and just 32% cash on the over, and yet it's gone up a point. Take it away, Marley, your final spot on the board here for us, Bears Lions.
All right, here we go. Why is Fields moving the line that much? What is Fields' APS record? ATS record? It's like 9-20. I looked this up last night. It's like 9-20 something. He's not, and I don't want to put this all on Fields' coaching and talent around him, but Fields does not go in and win games. We can look at his numbers. I got them right here. His QBR is like 39. His completion percentage is 61.7. He's only thrown for 1,200 yards. I know this is injury too, but we're still talking prior injury. He's only thrown 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. He hasn't thrown that many interceptions, but his QBR is still at the bottom half of the league. And meanwhile, we got Jared Goff on the other side of the ball, who is absolutely killing the league right now offensively. They're second in total yards. They're fourth in passing. They're top, I think, sixth in rushing. The defense is actually total 7th overall. They're playing a complete game on offensively, and if it's not only is Jared Goff killing Higgs, the running back, they're running the ball now. And they're at home coming off a big win. I'd say a big win against the Chargers last week. They have a 2-game lead in the division. We're talking about the Lions still, so it's not like they're going to rest on these morals. They're trying to win the division. They're actually in contention still for first place in the NFC. Their only really bad loss that we question is when they went to Baltimore and got dismantled. Other than that, they've been playing great football. I mean, the high-scoring game with the Chargers, I get it, but we're talking about the Lions here, people. I'm all over the -8. I don't think this is going to be a close game. Another thing I don't like, Jimmy, is taking big-time players their first game back, especially at quarterback. Still going to take some time to adjust. I mean, he can run around, but I don't think he's going to like carve the Lions up through the air. And I don't think he's going to be able to match pace with this offense. I like the Lions here -8. And we went down from 10. As soon as I saw it go down from 10, I was like, oh, give me that.
Well, you can get it.
I can see
you
that
can even get the Lions -7.5 at -105 at Pinnacle right now. So let's get you that one. Lions -7.5 at Pinnacle -105 for our guy Marley, ranked second out of 25 cappers here on Pub Hub here at Pub Sports Radio. 9-3 plus 6 units. Under 43.5 -112 for Dallas, Carolina. Over 44 in Chargers, Packers, and Lions -7.5 -105. Marley, thank you for making time for us. Please go out there and support Brothers and Bets. If you are watching this right now, go over to their YouTube channel and hit subscribe. And tell us a little bit about what Brothers and Bets is up to coming up.
Oh, man, this is the last game. As Jimmy says, my Super Bowl. So this is our last game of the season. Brothers and Bets about to take off. We're picking back up. College Basketball has just jumped off, so we're about to attack that very hard. Obviously, NFL and college football and NBA.
I love it. Please follow Marley on X at Marley_Betts. Thank you for making time for us, my man. I will be in touch. There he is, Marley in the house. All right, we go from Texas over to Florida. We head to Ocala, Florida. I said we were starting strong with our top two cappers. Here is our season 1 champion and leading the way in season 3. He was top 5 in season 2. He is a monster. He already this year he's gone over 10 units. He's slightly under it right now, but he has been just a monster. Let's go his overall record right now. 28 wins, 19 losses, plus 8.88 units. Come to us from Ocala, Florida, by way of New York City. Please welcome the Big Ragu to the show. Doc, how are you?
New York City, baby. I'm here, buddy. How you doing today? Good to see everybody.
Doing great. It is great to have you here. Let's get right to work, my friend. Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland Browns is where you get started. 50 Fahrenheit, sunny, 12 miles per hour. Minkah Fitzpatrick out for the Steelers for a third straight game, and so is Keanu Neal, safety, and nose tackle Montravius Adams all out. Freiermuth had back-to-back practices. We are expecting him to be in the lineup. We're not sure if that's going to be the case. And then some were surprised that it is Dorian Thompson-Robinson at under center instead of PJ Walker. And I wanted to get in on the Browns, and I still may get a chance to. The line's starting to move back towards Pittsburgh. Now, at Pinnacle, they've held on to this -1 for a long time. This -1 has been juiced at times in the -120s. It's fallen off at times. Right now, it's sitting here at -122, but there's -2s in other spots on the board. The 2.5s are gone now, thankfully. Now, this was at 4 before the announcement that Deshaun was done for the season, and I just messed up not getting involved. This total keeps dropping. We are now at a 34, but we were down to 33. We were down to 33 this morning. Can you believe the lowest NFL total we've seen in a long time at 33, but we've gone up a point now to 34. And from a cash flow perspective, you have 68% of tickets and 80% of cash on that under. And from a spread perspective, 69% of tickets, 74% cash on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Take it away, Doc, your first game on the board.
Yeah, that under is definitely going to be in play. Like I say, I've said it many times before. When you get these teams together at the North, you shake them up and you get a 3 somehow. But and today's that classic example of a lowest scoring game and a 3-point game, possibly. It's a field goal game feel all the way across the board here. But I know the home team has had the advantage in this series. Like 8 out of the last 10, the last 4. I guess they've covered an over number. Like they've scored above 38 points and more the last 4 in this series. But I'm not saying they won't do it today or they will, but it definitely has a feel towards the under here. But I think the matchup here, if we do the X's and O's, I know Pittsburgh's missing some pieces on the defensive side. Offensively, I guess with Harris struggled early in the season. I think he's starting to get better now. Warren kind of picked up the slack there, on the run game and on the running back role. Pickett has been up and down. Pickett to Pickett, that's the main matchup there for them. But both guys on the bookends, on the defensive side with Myles Garrett and Watt, equal there. But the one factor that sticks out to me the most, and it kind of goes back to the Belichick days, what he did with rookie quarterbacks. Tomlin himself has been pretty stout against rookie quarterbacks. He's like 28-5, some big number like that. And I think not that I trust Pickett a whole lot better than I trust DTR here, but I just like that. I think Tomlin will scheme against this team. It'll be a lower scoring game. I think Pittsburgh ekes out the win. And normally, like I say, it's a home series. The home team usually has the advantage here, but the rookie QB, I think Pittsburgh's defense has got enough to kind of wake them up, and I think Pickett has enough experience to kind of not do the wrong things. We got to watch Garrett, though. If you're going to back Pittsburgh, Garrett's our main concern, but I like Pittsburgh on the money line here, guys.
Pittsburgh money line, and this is starting to move in the Steelers' direction. Well, maybe it's okay that I didn't move on. I've been beating myself up for waiting on some of these spots, but I will line shop for your money line. Let's talk about the next spot on the board. 1 p.m. Eastern. Tennessee Titans 3-6, 0-5 on the road. Jacksonville Jaguars 6-3, 2-3 at home at Everbank Stadium, Jacksonville, Florida. 76 Fahrenheit, sunny, 6 miles per hour. Some issues for the Titans. Treylon Burke still out with the concussion. So is their offensive tackle Andre Dillard and cornerback Sean Murphy Bunting with a thumb injury. So they're a little beat up. And then for the Jaguars, Tyson Campbell, cornerback, is out. So Jamal Agnew. But other than that, they're getting healthier, as A. Jones expected to be in the lineup for them. Here from the spread scenario, we have a 6.5, a -109 for the Jags. This has been at 7 at times. It opened up at 6.5, got up to 7, now dropped back to 6.5. And from a total scenario here, we have it sitting at a 40. This opened up at 40. So there's been a 6-cent move to the over. And cash flow for this Jags spot, we have 71% of the tickets and 45% of the cash on Jacksonville. Tennessee's been a sharp look all week. Total-wise, 61% of the tickets, 72% cash on the over. And if the Jaguars lose and the Cowboys win, then Tim Crowley will win our Survivor pool and win $3,600 American. Take it away for us here, Ragu. Titans, Jaguars.
Yeah, so we got a 6-3 team, Jags, against a 3-6 team, Tennessee. Now the Jags, when they're sitting at 6-3, when they win, they cover. When they lose, they don't, obviously, right? But at the same time, their numbers at home are a little bit alarming for me. And I didn't know this. I mean, I kind of knew it, but when I started looking a little more in depth at it, they come off that bye week last week against the Niners, which I was on the Niners last week, and they got annihilated. But, against the Chiefs, they gave up 17. They got waxed against the Texans 37 and the Colts 20. The only one they had was they're 1-4 at home, by the way. That's what I was trying to get at. So a little deceiving there with that winning record with the Jags. Home play's kind of been a little bit subpar here. But they do get Tennessee coming in. That's 0-5 on the road and 1-4 ATS. And we get Levis. Levis, to me, if you go back and you look at Jacksonville's defense, at home, they're pretty nasty against the run. They're like under 100 yards a game. And they will give up some passing yards. Not bad. They're like middle pack there, but Levis, to me, doesn't present the threat. He had that one game when he came in early, but now they're getting figured out. And we know that Tennessee is going to be a heavy run package, which should play into the hands of the Jaguars. And to me, I know a lot of the sharps are on Tennessee, but this just feels like a get right spot for Jacksonville. They're better at home. They're not better at home than their record shows, but they should be playing better at home. Put it that way. So I think today's a day for the Jags to be back them. I'm not scared of that 7, 6.5, whatever you're hanging up there. I think they get doubles today. I'm going to be on the Jags heavy.
Let's grab that. And that is a relief for Peter, Loshak, myself, and Drug Monkey RX, who have the Jags in the Survivor contest. -6.5 at -109. Let's roll into your next spot on the board. That is New York Giants at Washington Commanders, FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. 57 Fahrenheit, sunny, 8 miles per hour. This Commanders team is very healthy. The Giants are missing Adoree Jackson, and Evan Neal did not make it. Giants fans were hoping that he would be able to play today. He's not going to be able to. And Andrew Thomas still questionable with the knee injury. We've heard all week the sharps on the New York Giants. This line is sitting at 8.5 right now. It opened at 10. It's sitting at 8.5. Juice to the Giants. If you want the Commanders -8.5, it's 0 vig. From a total perspective here on this one, we have it sitting at 39 at a pick'em. This opened up at 37.5, so it's gone up 1.5. And we get over to the cash flow. 68% of tickets, 63% of cash on the under, and 47% of tickets, 73% of cash on the New York Giants. Take it away, Ragu. Giants, Commanders.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly football game here today, guys. Maybe not as ugly as you think as far as scoring-wise, but these defenses, both of them, are horrific right now. Washington always gave the optics of having a really good defense, and they did start out pretty well early in the season, where they were like in the top 3 or 4 ranking, and then they kind of fell down quite a bit. They're giving up a lot of yards. They're giving up points. The Giants, they have an anemic offense. They with DeVito coming in, I think they did have a nice win last week against Seattle, where I think they scored like on their last 3 drives. They eked out that win, so that was a good win for them. Moving forward, and maybe that's more of a recency bias. That's why some of the maybe some of the smart money is coming back to the Giants and with Washington's defensive struggles here. But one positive for the Washington team is that Howe, he leads the league in passing yards. So you got 2 anemic defenses here right now, and not the best offenses, and hence the low number on the total here. But I think there's going to be points scored in this game. I really do. They have had spurts where they have, like I say, the Giants put up 29 last week, and I think DeVito I think he played in a game where they beat Washington already too. So I just don't trust the Giants offensively. They're a little more spotty, but I know that Washington will be able to move the ball through the air against the Giants without question. So that should bode well for Washington as far as being able to score points. Now you're favored by 9, and you're giving up 38.5. So that tells you they're going to get at least 24, 27 points here. So I looked up the team total, Washington 23.5. I think they get that number today. So as long as I can see this game, climbing over the total, sneaky over too. So I like Washington team total over here, 23.5.
Washington team total over right now, 23.5. That's minus 116 here at Pinnacle. Commanders team total over 23.5 at minus 116 here at Penny. Next up on the board is our Sunday nighter. I messed this all up. I thought Justin Jefferson was going to be announced in. The total would go back to 43 or 43.5. What a glaring error. Now at 41 is the total, and the Broncos are a minus 3 at plus money. Hard to find 2.5. So you have to pay for the 2.5. Now, for the Broncos, this is a healthy group. PJ Locke, safety out, but everybody else good to go. Caleb Evans not in the lineup for the Vikings either. Of course, Justin Jefferson, and Alexander Mattison still hasn't been cleared from concussion protocol. So we will wait on that. Let's take a look at the line history here. I just went over it. So we just need to hear the cash flow. Let's go over to the cash flow because I've been staring at this goddamn game, just beating myself up. 46% of the ticket, 65% of the cash on the Denver Broncos. And from a total scenario here, 51% of the ticket, 61% cash on the under. Take it away for us here, Doc. Vikings, Broncos, our Sunday nighter.
Yeah, I mean, we get to see Denver in the primetime game again, right? Last week we were up here on Monday night doing it, and then we get to come back and see them back-to-back again, which seems like it's better than watching the fucking Giants or the Jets play on prime time, I can tell you that. But anyways, I think this spot here this is probably the most intriguing game on the board for me. You got 2 teams that started out really, really bad. I think Minnesota lost, 4 out of 5? Denver lost 5 out of 6 early on. Now they kind of turned their seasons around a little bit. The story about Dobbs, getting off the plane and not even knowing the playbook, just coming in there and winning that game a couple of weeks ago, and he's got 2 W's under his belt. And then, Russell and Peyton are finally getting on the same page. I think they're starting to figure things out in Denver here. So a lot of intriguing looks here with this game here. To me, the big difference in this game is the Denver defense. At home, they've given up less than 20 points. Last three with the W. I mean, I know they gave up 22 Monday night to Buffalo in that 24-22 win, but that was a quality win for them. They come back home, and to me, my high is always worth a field goal plus in that scenario. And I hate that it's sitting at 3 now, which I'm going to lay it. I don't care. But I think the difference in this game, I got a Super Bowl winning coach, a Super Bowl winning quarterback versus a young guy, and a pretty decent coach with on the Minnesota sideline. But they've done a lot of great things, Minnesota has, but today I think is where the experience is going to set in, and that big advantage at Mile High is going to play a big role too. So give me Denver minus the 3 points. Or if you can shot me 2.5 juice, I'd rather do that.
Interesting market move here. Move to the over as well. There's a 42.5 on the board, 42s. I'd like to try and get under this. And Broncos -2.5, -112 at Pinnacle. Very, very, very interesting stuff. Doc is in on the Broncos -2.5, -112. We got to speed this up a little bit, Doc. Next up for you is our Monday nighter. Eagles, Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. How much fun is this going to be for us? Right now, 42 Fahrenheit showers, 10 miles per hour. The big story, Eagles have ruled out Dallas Goedert, Justin Evans, but Cam Jurgens is officially active. That's going to help. And Bradley Roby playing his first game since week 6 for the Chiefs. Richie James questionable, and Nick Bolton is out, as we know, with the wrist injury. Let's take a look at the line history here for the last game on the board for Doc. We have the Monday nighter sitting at 2.5, juiced to the Chiefs at -117. It looks like there is a chance that we could get threes once again. There's a chance. I would be very interested in Eagles if we could get a 3. From a total scenario here, we're sitting at 45.5. This opened up at 47.5, so it's dropped 2 points. And when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 77% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the under. We've watched it drop. And on the spread here, we have 50-50 action, pretty much. 46% of tickets, 52% of cash on the Chiefs. Take it away, Doc. Final spot on the board.
I'll give you 2 plays in about a minute flat here. All right. So basically, the look here is everybody's going to be on the Eagles because they're licking their chops to kind of not to get revenge for the Super Bowl, but this is a game they had circled on the calendar here. And we've been all over these Monday night overs. I've been on first half Monday night unders. I've been on first half unders. The last 4 I've pushed 2 and lost 2. So I haven't. Those numbers have been really sharp on the first half unders on these primetime games. So beware there. But I'm going to go back to old standard here. I'm going to go back to just a full game under on this to segue into our Monday nighter. When we get on screen together, and I'm going to give you a parting shot on the teaser here. I'm going to take a Lions. I'm going to go in NFC North teaser. I'm going to take the Lions and the Packers in the teaser today too.
Lions, Packers, a teaser. Let's get that one in the under 45.5. So the Lions here, we give you a -1.5 on the Lions, and the Packers are a +9. So Lions -1.5, Packers +9 for Big Ragu. And then from the total here for this one, we give you the total. Best total we can find right now is under 45.5 at -105. Under 45.5, -105. Our current leader and season 1 champion, Big Ragu, he's on the Monday night under 45.5. His teaser lines -1.5, Packers +9. He's on Broncos -2.5, -112. He is on the hell did I write? Oh no, sorry, I'm ahead. Jeez, what did I do here?
Team total.
Yeah, no, I started putting you on Razor's action. Sorry, because Razor is next. God, what did I do here? Okay, pull this off here. Cut that. Broncos. God, how did I do that? Okay, here we go. Broncos -2.5 at -112. The under 45.5. And I'll just pull that teaser up there. I have it under Razor's action. My fault. And the Steelers money line at +116. Jaguars -6.5, -109. Commanders team total over 23.5, -116. And the Broncos, the under and the teaser. Doc, thank you so much for making time for us, my man. Please follow Big Ragu on X at Big Ragu62. And of course, check out his work with Boss in the Sauce, our guy, DJ Big Boss. Ragu, any last words for the cappers supporting the show, my friend?
We'll see you Monday night, and I'll be back with you on Wednesday for the Betting with the Bag show.
I love it. There he is, the Big Ragu. We have Low Bag Legends back to back. We go from the Big Ragu to a capper who has been absolutely fire, been crushing it, and we love working with him. And we don't get him on the show enough, so I'm so happy to have him back in action. God, he makes capping so much fun. Please welcome Mr. Razor Sharp Picks to the show. Razor, what's good, my man?
My guy, Jimmy, the chat, they always say if you want to be the best, you go against the best. Well, I don't want to go against Ragu, so the best to go after the best. So it's a blessing to go after Ragu. Cheers to everybody in the chat. We don't have enough damn likes, so hit the like button down below. Let's take a shot, and let's continue this hot streak. Let's get paid. Cheers!
I love it. I love it. Razor sharp picks ready to rock. Now, we have set up these games, except not all of them, but this one we have set up because we just heard Ragu's breakdown for Steelers Browns at Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. So all we need to hear from you is how are you getting paid? Take it away, Razor. Steelers Browns.
For me, this is easy. This is a $200 play for me, and I'm on the Browns money line at -125. This is a huge overaction because the Browns don't have a quarterback, right? Well, the Browns are 4-1 straight up their last 5, 11-5 straight up their last 16. They're also 4-1 against the spread their last 5 home games, and 7-2 against the spread their last 9 home games. So the difference for me here is the Browns are at home. If they are on the road, this would be a different story. But the Browns are at home, and I think their defense is going to win this game. The Browns defense is number 1 in yards, number 3 in yards of play against, number 1 in pass yards, number 1 in pass completions, number 2 in QB rating with a 69.2. Then you flop it to the other side, the Steelers offense. They are number 28 in yards, 28 in yards of play, 29 in pass yards, 31 in pass completion, and 24th with a QB rating of 75.8. The Browns offense, number 2 in rushing yards, number 1 in rushing attempts, number 12 in rushing yards with 4.2 yards of rush. That is how the Browns are going to win this game. They're going to win the ball on the ground. They're going to run the hell out of this ball. The Browns defense is going to step up. I'm on the Browns money line -125 for a $200 play.
And we have -130s available market wide right now. So we'll give you that number here for our record keeping. The Browns. So we've heard Ragu on the Steelers and we've heard Razor on the Browns. And now I'm getting more and more comfortable not having my cash in play. But I was certainly leaning on joining you with the Browns. And we'll have a couple more cappers talk about that spot. Let's move in the next one on your board. Arizona Cardinals at Houston Texans. We're at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas here, and both teams are hurting, especially the Texans. Jimmy Ward out, Damian Pierce out. Looks like Will Anderson is going to try to play with that knee injury that's held him out of practice off and on throughout the week. For the Cardinals, Joey Blount out, their safety, Amari DeMercado out with the toe injury, Jonathan Ledbetter, defensive lineman, out, and Zach Pascal out as well. We get into the line history here for this one. We have I got money line up right now. Sorry, let me quickly move over to spreads. We have the Texans sitting at -5.5 right now. This opened up at 5.5, and it dropped to 4 very quickly. It was 4 for a lot of the week, and it's come back. It even got up to 6 before it's leveled off at 5.5. From a total scenario here, we have sitting at a 47.5. This opened up at 49. It's dropped down to 47.5, and you still can find 48s. And cash flow wise here, we have 68%, 66% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Cardinals, and 82% of tickets, 69% of cash on the over. Take it away, Razor. Game 2 for you, Cardinals Texans.
For me, this is my gambler's first glance $300 play of the day. At first glance, the public must have had a banging party last night. 67% of the bets are on Arizona. 74% of the money is on Arizona. Why? It's Arizona. They lost to the Niners, the Bengals, the Rams, Seattle, the Ravens, the Browns. All of a sudden, they beat the Falcons, and the public is jumping on board, but not so fast. The Arizona is 2-5 against the spread their last 7, 1-6-1 against the spread their last 8 week 11 games. So as the season goes on, Arizona gets worse. We all know they're not a playoff team. They're just waiting for next year so they can try again. On the other side, we got the Texans. They're 5-2 against the spread their last 7. Back to Arizona, they're 1-5 against the spread their last 6 road games. They are 3-8 their last 11 road games. Arizona's not a good team, and they're definitely not good on the road. I am taking Texans -5.5, gambler's first glance play of the day.
Texans -5.5. I'm going to line shop for you and see what I can get and what's the best available. Let's keep rolling for you because we roll on to Seattle Seahawks and LA Rams. This is a highly debated football game here. Health-wise right now, they're both really healthy. I mean, this is about as healthy as these two teams have been as long as Abraham Lucas, tackle for the Seahawks on the injury report with a knee injury, but could play, and Jamal Adams and Trey Brown play, and Tyler Lockett, who we expect to play even though he's dealing with the hamstring injury, if that all comes through. But the Rams are as healthy as they've been in a long time. Let's get into this line history here for this one. We have a move back to the Seahawks today. Is that continued? It has. Right now, it's minus. Wow. So Penny's now -1 at -111 for the Rams. So not all the other books. We have 2s aboard, but they've moved this down to 1. Remember, this opened up with the Rams +2, and then they became -2.5. The total is sitting at 46, and it opened at 44.5, but it got higher than this. This was at 47. And cash-wise for this one, we have 74% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the Rams, and 43% of tickets, 51% cash on the under. Take it away, Razor. Floor is yours.
Yes, I see everyone is betting the Rams, and I'm not sure why. Their last 5 games, they are 1-5. I don't know if a bunch of old timers are coming back, but as I see this game, the Rams, they're 3-6, 1-3 at home. Seattle, 6-3, 2-2 on the road. For me, this one is simple. I am taking the Seattle Seahawks +2 as a road dog here. If we look at Seattle, they're 6-2 straight up their last 8 games, 5-0 straight up their last 5 against the NFC. On the other side, well, no, still we got Seattle 4-1 against the spread their last 5 versus the NFC. So Seattle, they are coming on the road here to the Rams, and it's a big revenge spot. In week 1, the Rams won 30-13. Seattle got their butt kicked at home week 1. We all know everybody watches the NFL week 1, so they got embarrassed on TV at home against the Rams. I repeat, embarrassed at home against the Rams. So to me, it's big revenge spot. The public is hammering the Rams, 75%, 82% of the money all on the Rams, but I don't see. I think the public is hitting the Rams because they're coming off a bye, but they just lost to the Packers 20-3. So for me, the better team getting plus the points, I'm taking Seattle +2, $200 play.
You got it locked in +2, -108. By the way, we were able to get you a -5, -108 on the Texans, available at Heritage. Move on to the Sunday Nighter. We will be live right here. I hope you can join us, Razor. I love these live streams with you. Vikings, Broncos, take it away.
For me, this one was a little easy, not so much. I know the public trend is to hit the under. I am betting the under, but that is not why. We got 51% of the bets, 61% of the money is on the under, and the line has dropped. It opened up at 44 at some places, and it's down to 41.5, 42 at some spots. For me, this is an easy one. Josh Dobbs, primetime game. There's going to be a lot of pressure, and defense for the Denver Broncos is top-notch right now. If we look at some trends for this game, the Vikings are 6-2 to the under their last 8, and it's 5-0 the last 5 versus a team with a losing record. Denver, their games have gone under the last 4 times, and they've played some good teams. They played the Chiefs twice. They played Buffalo and those good-ass Packers. On the other side for defense, the Vikings, they've lit up 19, 10, 17, and 13 in 4 of their last 5 games. So in 4 of those last 5, they haven't let up 20 points. And on the other side, Denver hasn't either. They've let up 19, 17, 9, and they did let up 22 4 games ago, or their last game. So I think it's going to go under here. The Vikings D leads in every category against the Denver's D. We got yards per play, rushing yards, passing yards. The Vikings D leads in every category against the Denver's offense. And then you have Denver's defense. They scored a lot. They let up a lot of points in the first 4 weeks, but they're playing a lot better now. The Vikings have to run against the Denver D to win this game, and I don't think that's going to happen. Denver Vikings under 41.5. It's a $200 play for me.
And this total, shockingly, when I had given up on it, has been climbing. So 42.5. I think we can give you 42.5. Tell me one of these. Yeah, my bookie under 42.5 at -110 for you, Razor. Razor, jump into the Monday Nighter, and we got to be kind of tight here. Eagles, Chiefs. We will be live right here on Pub Sports Radio for both the Sunday Nighter and the Monday Nighter. Take it away, Razor.
For this one, the public and the sharps are both hitting the under, and I'm hitting the under as well. This total opened up at 47.5. Excuse me. And it's dropped to 45.5. It's a big revenge game for the Eagles. As we all know, these two teams have matched up in the Super Bowl last year, and the total has dropped significantly since then. When it was in the Super Bowl, the total was at 51.5, and it's down to 45.5. So the books have put some respect on both these defenses. Last time they played in the Super Bowl, it was 38-35. Both these defenses let up a lot of points, so I think they're going to want revenge here and get it done on the defensive side. You got the Eagles 6-1. Their last 7 Week 11 games have gone under the total. Week 11 means it's starting to get ready for the playoffs. This is where the big boy plays, and that's how the Eagles defense gets it done here on this side of the ball. On the other side, you got the Chiefs, 5-0 last 5, 5-1 last 6 games have gone under, especially in November. They're 12-5 the last 17 games in Week 11. Like I said, those big teams play in November, and that's what the Chiefs are. They've also gone 5-0 the last 5 versus a team with a winning record, and 4-0 following a straight-up win. The Eagles' defense is number 1 against the run, first in yards, 66.3, and first in rushing attempts at 17.8. The Chiefs are not going to be able to run the ball, but they have to run the ball to get the passing game going. So I think the clock is going to be ticking. Both sides are going to run the ball. I am hitting the under for a $200 play, 45.5.
Under 45.5 minus 108 for the Eagles, Chiefs. Under 42.5 minus 110 for Minnesota, Denver. Seahawks +2. Houston -5. And Browns money line for Razor Sharp picks. Razor, love capping with you. Thank you so much for making time for us, my friend. Please follow Razor on X at Razor Sharp Picks. And, of course, the Razor Sharp Picks YouTube channel, rocking with the Thoroughbreds Monday through Friday. Razor, any last words for the cappers supporting the show, my man?
My last words are hit the like button. We got 350+ people in the chat. It's almost 12 o'clock. Shut time. Cheers.
Oh, that looks so delicious. That looks so delicious. Okay, I got Razor Sharp Picks, and that's all right. We're gonna keep it rolling. Next up, we have a capper who's been rolling with us this year, and we've enjoyed it immensely. He has a long history with our guest after this, Mr. Peter Loshak. He is the star of Midday Money. Please welcome Mr. Sean Higgs to the show. Sean, how are you?
I like that, the star. I'm the only person on the show, Jimmy. Thank you for that.
Sean, let's get right to work because we've had Ragu give us the Steelers, Razor give us the Cleveland Browns, and it's your first game off the hop. And you tweeted out your action. You tweeted it out about 24 hours ago, so all the lines you tweeted out and I retweeted it are locked in. Take it away, Sean. Steelers, Browns.
Yeah, so I took the Browns here, and I don't need a bottle of Fireball Razor at 11 o'clock in the morning firing away. The Fireball. He's freaking Fireball. This state Cleveland. He covered every aspect of that game. I'm not going to rehash that. I'm on the Browns as well. And the basic of it is, who's giving DTR a shot? Nobody. They've written off the Browns, but yet the line has not moved. It was 2.5 before. It's or 2, whatever it was, to open. It's back up to that. Take the Browns. Be a winner.
I'm very interested in the Browns as well.
Razor covered all the defensive aspects of everything about it, and how inefficient Pittsburgh is. So it's Cleveland.
I'm interested in adding it. They got an hour and 2 minutes to make those decisions. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Chargers, Packers at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We've already discussed the spot. How are you getting paid?
I'm taking the Pack here plus the 3. It's come down again. It's what, 2.5 now as we're doing this. Okay, they're a bad team. They can't score 20 points. They scored what, 20 last 2 of the last 7 or 8 games. They're anemic. But how do you trust the Chargers? As bad as they think Green Bay is, the Charger team is 500 for the last couple of years for a reason. The coach is garbage, and they make bad decisions on offense, on defense. They got a lot of great names on that team. Super. Give me Green Bay. That's it. Don't overthink it. I'm taking a team that nobody has any love for, and the line keeps dropping. Good luck, Charger backers. You're going to be crying when your money line 17 parlay goes down today.
Packers +3 -110 tweeted out and locked in. Sean, we move on to Cardinals Texans at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. Another spot that Razor had just discussed, but you aren't on the side. You're hammering it from a different angle. Take it away.
I'm taking the under, but I kind of like he said he liked the Texans too. I mean, Arizona is now 2-13 after that big win. And okay, Kyler Murray came back, a lot of juice, but that's the Falcons. This is the Texans. Now, the defense last 2 games have not been good. Like 27, you give up to Burrow and the Colts and the Bengals. That's one thing. 37 to Tampa is wow. But I'm expecting a better defense here. And their head coach was the San Fran head defensive guy. He knows his team. And their defense coming in, besides the last two games, 15, 13, 21, 6, 17, 20, 25 at the Ravens. Yet not too shabby defensively. Let's go under here. Don't be sold on what you saw out of Murray against the Falcons, right? I mean, they had the Falcons last week, Atlanta. Come on. Stop it. Take the under. It was 49. It's come down.
A line. Oh no, you nailed in your action under 48 at minus 110 for Sean on Arizona, Houston. Next up, we move on to Raiders Dolphins. We haven't discussed this game yet, so let's set it up quickly. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. Raiders have changed under Antonio Pierce, but against two lightweights and at home, and now they head on the road against a Dolphins team that's being off the bye and pretty angry about that performance over in Frankfurt. We have 80 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 10 miles per hour. These Dolphins are missing two linemen, Robert Hunt and Robert Jones. Their offensive line's been much stronger than I thought was capable, with Armstead hurt beginning of the year. So many injuries, they've handled it very, very well. For the Raiders, they're a pretty healthy group right now. Getting to the line history here, there's been a huge move towards the fish. It's 14.5 now at Pinnacle. I got in at 12 on Tuesday. And I rarely bet double-digit favorites, and we talked about starting to open that up. I mean, we see these double digits cover all the time. Why don't you, if you really like a spot, I don't think I bet a double-digit favorite in 3 years, and I don't know why I'm so against it. And we'll see how this works out.
Yeah, it's just one of those things with the double-digit favorites, and they're covering like nothing. No, they have been covering this year, and I think that goes to the quarterback play and the huge disparity of some of these teams. It's really terrible. Someone else mentioned betting on good quarterbacks. It's quarterback league. I think that was Marley Betts early in the show. At plus 10, you got to like Miami. At 14, why would it's 2 touchdowns? But I don't know, Mike, about that one. I'm taking Miami team total over 29.5 here. I think they drop a 34, 35, 37 piece on the Raiders. Okay, the Raiders got 2 wins against the Giants and the Jets. How good are those quarterbacks? And now you got the Tua show here. They're off of what? Shutout in the first half versus KC in Germany. Some garbage points in that game. They maul bad teams. I'm not saying they're dropping 70 like it's the Broncos in week 2 or whatever that was, or week 3. But they're going to put up points here. The Raiders played 2 bad teams. They didn't look great offensively, and here comes a Miami team off an embarrassing loss and a bye week to boot. You want to lay to 14? I'm not going to blame you, but I'm going team total 29.5 over that. And I know what they to ladder it up. I'd go close to 40 of this. I think they're going to really put up a 37 minimum here for the Dolphins.
I like it. I've got to get over this. I think this.
I'm the same way. So you don't have to bet. You want to, but you don't have to. It's okay to leave a winner out there because if it loses, then you didn't lose anything. So just you don't like it initially, Jim. Don't bet it. You should have grabbed it at 10. You should have grabbed last week. It was 10. You could have grabbed it at 10.
I could have. It took me a little while to despise the Raiders. We got great cappers. Thank you guys all for joining us. Our leader in the cappers contest, Guillermo Zertucci, in the house. If he was in the Circa Millions, he'd be tied for 14th. Out of 5,600. He's leading our cappers contest. Great to see you, Guillermo. Great to see you, Jacqueline. Great to see all you guys. Let's get into the final spot on the board here, and it's Jets-Bills. I made a decision early in the week. As soon as Micah Hyde was announced in, I was going to be on the Bills. I feel this is a great bounce-back opportunity for them. I was against them last week heavy, and I'm backing them here. And we haven't talked about this game yet. Jordan Phillips and Trent Sherfield are on the questionable list. They're both expected to be in. And for the Jets, Dwayne Brown is not in. Either is Billy Turner. This offensive line keeps getting hit. Let's take a look at the line of history. And Garrett Wilson, questionable. We have this now at 8.5. Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
And then from a total scenario here, we are sitting at a 39.5 at Penny. This opened up at 40.5. Sean, your final spot on the board. Big game for me today. Jets Bills.
I do like the Bills. I liked it when it was 6, 7, 7.5, 8. And I think I'm going to go team total over 24.5. I think the Bills, this is like the cliche game of the day here. Back to the wall, statement, rally the troops, whatever, circle the wagon, all that kind of nonsense. You fired the coordinator, and then every offensive player on the team comes out. It's his fault. I dropped the ball. I threw the interception. I could have grabbed it. It tipped off my hands and it was picked off. Everybody's got an excuse for the OC. I think this is a spot. And then you go back to just opening night on Monday night where they get humiliated in a loss. They couldn't do nothing. Why do I think the Bills just win this one 34-13? It doesn't, who cares about the 8, late 10? Doesn't make a difference. I think Bills in a rout. I'm going to go team total over 24.5.
I love it. I'm right with you here. Bills team total over 24.5 for
Big
Sean.
pimp slap, my guy. Love Mike.
Dolphins team total over 29.5. Texans under 48. Packers +3 and Browns money line at -120. Sean, thank you so much for making time for us. Sorry we were running a little bit late.
That's all right.
Midday money starting right now. Right now. Sean, thank you for making time for us.
Tell my guy Pete. I know he's on next. I said, "What's up, my guy Pete?"
Yeah, it's love seeing him. I don't know where he is right now. This guy, always a mystery with Pistol Pete Loshak. Looks gorgeous wherever he is. Sean, tell us a little bit about Midday Money before you bounce, my friend.
Yeah, so I do 7 days a week right now. A little late, but I throw out 3 picks of the day, and then in the chat, I'm nonstop in the chat. You pop in, you say hello to your chat. It's a chat-driven show. Who do you like? And we talk about it, and then that's it. There we go. That's what I do.
I love it. I love it. Sean, thank you so much for making time for us. Get that cash, my friend. Have a great show.
Take it easy, brother.
There he is, Sean Higgs. And we move over to a partner of Sean Higgs many moons ago. And I get it. They would work great together. But who doesn't work great with your next guest? He's not in Brooklyn. I don't know where the hell he is, but it looks gorgeous. Please welcome Mr. Pistol Pete Loshak to the show. Pete, where are you?
I'm in Long Island. I'm just hanging out. We're having a good time here. We're having an okay time here. We get around a little bit, meet all kinds of people in this world. Jimmy the Bag. We like to hang out with as many of them as we can.
Oh, I love that. It's beautifully put. Let's roll, Pistol P. Loshak, and you start with a highly contentious game. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns. Take it away.
Yeah, it's an educated guess, and it could lose, but I took Cleveland. I took them at Pick'em. I think all 3 of the games I'm going to talk about today have moved significantly, which is, I guess, a good sign, but I would still take all of them at the current lines. I think it's now to 2. I took it at Pick'em. Obviously, the quarterback for Cleveland is going to be a big question, but, he was good in the preseason, and, people always talk about what to make of the preseason. In general, I don't put too much stock in the preseason, except for kind of situations like this, some, flawed quarterback, but with upside, who maybe hasn't, shown much in the regular season, but in the preseason showed flashes. Now he's got kind of a week to prepare and plan a little bit, and he's going up against a team that is, offensively challenged. Cleveland's got a great defense. I think it's a great bet. They could lose, but, I don't think Pickett's going to be able to do much against the defense. I think the Browns should have some kind of plan to put up some kind of points, and I took him at Pick'em, and at -2 or 1.5, whatever, I'd take him as well right now.
Well, let's lock that in for you. I'm going to lock in the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to join you now. Enough of this. I'm going to make a move here while the show is on. Let's move on to your next spot. It was just discussed by Sean Higgs. Take it away, Raiders, Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of those when you were like 16 years old and handicapping your first NFL game, and the only thing you went by was who sucks and who's awesome, and a team that sucks was playing a team that was awesome, and you were like, oh, they're going to fucking kill them. And like, I don't really care what the spread is. I'll take them. Okay, -17. This is kind of like that situation. And mind you, I was on the Raiders last 2 weeks. I forgot where I think I posted on Twitter once that a guy I really respect was on the Giants, but I was like, oh no, I'm on the Raiders. And then last week against the Jets, I'm on the Raiders again. But in this spot, going on the road, just 2 touchdowns, it might be a 30-point win, but all you need is 14. This also I got earlier in the week. I got like 13 or 13.5 or whatever it was. I'd still take it at 14 at -115 or whatever it is right now. But yeah. Miami should roll. They have the tools to roll. And the Raiders are a scrappy team right now, and I might be betting on them again in the future. But in this spot, took Miami. If it loses, that's okay. I think it's a good bet.
Miami, we will lock this in for you. While I am locking in the line, you got Browns -2 at -110, which I'm about to move on. It's going to be -115 for me. Pinnacle still got that, moved it to 2.5. So let's move on to the next spot and the final spot for you, Pistol Pete Loshak. SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Seattle Seahawks at Los Angeles Rams. We already heard from Razor on the Seahawks. I am on the Rams, and I was nervous to hear his confidence on the Seahawks. Take it away for us here, Pistol. SoFi, Rams at home against the Seahawks.
That's not very nice here. I wonder why he was on the Seahawks. I'll go watch his segment. But yeah, again, I got this at +1.5. Now it's on the other side, -1.5. Seahawks are okay. The Rams are no great shakes, but considering the spot, Stafford coming back, and the wide receivers should be capable enough to do some damage. They'll probably give up some points as well. It might be a close one at the end, but I like the Rams to get a win here. Definitely took them at +1.5, and I would still take them at -1.5 right now, just like this spot. And I think that the Rams have the weapons on the field to manifest what should be manifested based on the spot. So I don't love betting against Seattle. They're kind of a undervalued team, often underrated, underestimated. But I took the Rams here, and the line move, I guess, is nice to see.
Yeah, and it's moved back a little bit. -1 at -111 right now at Pinnacle for you. Dolphins -14 at -103. Browns -2 at -110. And Swiss Horton says, can you ask Pete if he has a Swiss Horton parlay for him? Yesterday cashed, he says.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Swiss Horton asked us for a 2-team money line parlay yesterday, and Big Man on Campus gave Virginia, which I strongly agreed with, and that one cashed. I gave a whole bunch that I liked, but I couldn't. I fucking didn't narrow it down. I wanted to. As soon as the video was over, I was like, "Fuck! I need to apologize." I'm so glad he's tuning in right now. Swiss Horton, I apologized yesterday. A Swiss Horton parlay? Yeah, absolutely. I would say take. Yeah, I would say take. All right. Well, if Razor likes Seattle, let's leave off the Rams for now. If he just wants a 2-teamer, let's do it, baby. Miami minus the points, whatever you can get, and then throw on Cleveland if you want to be a little safe, which I would do. Take them on the money line. There you go. That's a nice little 2-team parlay there in the NFL for you, Swiss Horton.
I like it. I like it a lot, Pistol Pete. And Pete, we are 2 of 4 people left in the Pub Sports Radio Survivor Contest. 3 of us are in Jacksonville. Tim Crowley is on the Cowboys. So if Jacksonville loses and Cowboys win, Crowley wins $3,600. Were you close to anybody else, or were you just going to be in Jacksonville all week?
Nah, not really. I mean, I should have been, I guess, more strategic with Survivor so that I could have wound up with some big favorites at this point in the season. But whatever, it's for fun. I was. There's no way I could take Houston. I still had them because I think that Arizona is definitely live to get a cover. And in fact, I took to get a win, and I took Arizona plus the points in the contest as well. That was one of my 5 picks. So yeah, I don't remember who else was on the card for me, but the only 2 options really were Houston and the Jags, and so I no brainer went with the Jags on that one.
Yeah, that was my same thought process. Well, hopefully we can move on to next week and stay alive here. 4 of us left. Pete, thank you so much for making time for us. Here he is, Pete Loshak. Pete, next Friday night, 8 p.m. is our poker tournament at Bet Online. 8 p.m., $50 buy-in, and we need you involved. And there are extra prizes as well given to us by Bet Online. So if you can make it Friday, Thanksgiving Friday at 8 p.m.
I think I can. I mean, I might have some shenanigans planned. That's a tough time slot. That's a big ask, but I'll be there. Of course, I'll be there. Jimmy's back. And thanks for telling me now, though, so I can schedule it in there. 8:00 Eastern time Friday. Definitely, I'll be there. $50 buy-in. Okay.
$50 buy-in, rebuys for the first 3 levels. A private tournament for just us. Thank you, Pete, so much for making time for us. Please follow Pete on Twitter at P Loshak and check out his shows here Saturday with Jeff Nadu for Saturday Means Football, and of course Tuesday morning the Peter Loshak Show. And there's Swiss Horton with a $10 dono to bless the action of all of us. Thank you, Swiss. You're the man. And thank you, Pete. Have a great day, my friend.
Right on. You too. Shout out to everyone.
There he is, Pistol Pete Loshak. We go from Long Island all the way up to the 6. Your next guest, the man knowing for the bombs that he drops. The man is allergic to chalk. And today he's focusing solely on player props. Man is a player prop machine. Wants the big plus money. And last year he was 2nd overall. Not only that, but he came out of the gates and had a horrible show. 3-9 down 6.05 units. In the 2 shows since then, he's 16-11 plus 5.63 units. And after today's show, he will be in the black I love watching cappers climb out of holes. I wish we didn't dig them for ourselves, but for whatever reason we do. Please welcome Mr. Spenny Penny Bombs to the show. Mr. Bombs, how are you?
How we doing, Jimmy? How we doing, chat? How we doing today? Let's get this going.
Let's get this going. And very interesting action. Again, we haven't had props on this show yet, and you are all over them. So let's get right into it. Titans, Jags. We've talked about the situation here. Jags moving from 6.5 to 7 and back and forth. Titans coming off ugly road loss in Tampa. Both teams coming off horrific losses, but who's more capable of bouncing back? You're not looking at side and total. You've got 2 player props. You've bet them on their line, but you've also used alternate lines to double up for big scores. Take it away for your 2 player props in Titans, Jags.
Yeah, like a couple of players in this game here. I like Derrick Henry, but I like him in a spot that you wouldn't think that I would like him in. I like him for his receiving yards today. The Jags are only allowing 86.4 rush yards per game this season, but they're allowing the 3rd most receiving yards to running backs this year. And Derrick Henry's gone over this total 6 times this season. So I like Derrick Henry over 11.5 receiving yards at -110. Then I also like his 25 plus receiving yards at +220. Just a spot where Henry can get a couple of sneaky dump offs. He's definitely capable of catching, some screen passes and breaking one off. So I like Derrick Henry, especially against a team that's capable of letting up a lot of receiving yards here. So Derrick Henry over 11.5 and 25 plus at +220.
Then you move over to a receiver in this game. Take it away. What's your plan?
Yeah, and Calvin Ridley's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat to Christian Kirk the last couple of weeks, but Titan secondary is allowing 182.9 yards per game this season to wide receivers, and which is bottom 7 in the league. He's coming off a bad game. He usually has been bouncing back, periodically bouncing back and forth here. This is a great spot for Ridley to bounce back, and at a number that is very reasonable. So Ridley over 47.5 receiving yards, and then also a little sprinkle as well with the 60 plus receiving yards at +128.
Locked in 2 props, Derrick Henry and Calvin Ridley. Then we move over to the Cardinals-Texans game. You have a wide receiver prop in this one. Take it away.
Yeah. We know that Noah Brown is going to be out today, and Nico Collins is coming back. It's basically going to be Nico and Tank Dell, maybe a little bit of John Mechie mixed in there with the tight end Schultz as well. So I think Nico bounces back off his injury today, has a big game against this terrible Cards secondary, which is allowing the 10th most receiving yards to wide receivers this year. So I think, especially with this electric offense that they have with Stroud here, so Nico Collins over 15.5 receiving yards at -112, and then also 70 plus receiving yards at +146. I think Nico has a big day today on the outside against this bad Cards defense.
We move over to Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions. We did discuss the line history and the issues involved in this game with Marley off the top. Marley moved on the Lions -7.5, despite this 3-point move from the 10.5 that was available on Tuesday, knowing that Fields and Khalil Herbert will both be in the lineup. You're not looking at it from a side perspective. You have 2 player props for this one. Wide receivers on either team. Take it away. Bears, Lions, Spenny.
Yeah, we'll start off on the Lions side. Khalif Raymond's going to be out for the Lions, and Donovan Peoples-Jones is coming in, but this is his first game with the Lions, so I'm not expecting him to do a whole lot in his first full game with the Lions here. And Josh Reynolds is still 4th on this team in targets. I think Josh Reynolds has a bounce back spot in a spot where Raymond's out. They need another kind of, that 3rd string kind of wide receiver here. So I like Khalif Raymond here. I like Josh Reynolds here over 28.5 receiving yards at -114, and then 40 plus receiving yards at +162. Again, still seeing a ton of targets in a good spot for him with Khalif Raymond out. I think they look to Josh Reynolds to get into that kind of a 3rd receiver spot. And then on the other side, we got Fields back. I know his hand's still kind of hurt here, but I think he's definitely going to try and get his boy DJ Moore involved again. They had a good chemistry going before Fields was injured there. And honestly, this Lions secondary has been kind of pedestrian as of late. So I think that DJ is going to get some looks early and often here. And so I took DJ Moore over 58.5 receiving yards -110 and 70 plus receiving yards at +190.
You are locked in. I just moved on the Cleveland Browns -2 at
Nice.
-109. So I'm in. That's just my 6th pick. Although I do know what I want to do in that Broncos game. I'm just kind of seeing how high this total will climb up to.
Yeah.
Stimmy OG also big on the Cardinals +6. So big on the Cardinals and the Giants here. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for you, Spenny. And we head to the Steelers-Browns game that we've talked so much about. But again, you're looking at it from a player prop perspective. Take it away.
Yeah. Again, looking at, I know, they're going to have to try and establish just a ground game with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt, but DTR was still able to toss the ball around a little bit last time when he was there. And David Njoku's had, a good stretch here, even with the, obviously the burns and everything he's had going on, but he's had an amazing stretch this last couple of weeks here. And last game against Pittsburgh, he was four catches for 48 yards. And last time when DTR started in the season, he had 6 catches as well with 7 targets. So I think that, he's going to look for that big body across the middle. A lot of these young quarterbacks like to, instead of taking shots on the outside, like to use the middle of the field. So I like David Njoku over 30.5 receiving yards at -110 and 40+ receiving yards at +154.
Locked in. Then we head over to Seattle Seahawks, LA Rams. We've heard both sides of the coin from the sides. We've heard cappers on Seattle in razor sharp picks. You've heard cappers on the Rams as well. And I'm on the Rams too. But you are hitting a player prop here and an important one for the LA Rams. Take it away.
I don't know if there's really much else to say other than Stafford's back, and it's Cooper Kupp. I'm taking Cooper Kupp over 77.5 receiving yards at -114, and taking a shot at the 100+ receiving yards at +164. He hit it the 2 times, 2 of the times that Stafford was back early in the season, going over 100 receiving yards. And Seattle secondary ranks 22nd in the league, so I think that the Rams are going to attack with Puka and Kupp early and often. So I like that with Cooper Kupp today.
Cooper Kupp. And then we close up shop here with Spenny in Jets Bills Highmark Stadium, Orchard Park, New York, an important game for my action tonight. And you are looking at a player prop for the Buffalo Bills running back. Take it away.
Yeah, looking at James Cook here. The Jets are giving up, it's kind of a fantasy stat here, but the Jets are giving up 20.5 fantasy points per game to running backs this season, which is 20th in the league. So just a kind of a good spot for James Cook here. And they just fired the offensive coordinator. The note I literally have on my notepad is, it's in bold letters, time to use the running back more. This is exactly what we need to do. Stop putting the ball in Josh Allen's hands so much. Let your running back do a little bit more work, especially in a spot that's good for him here. So James Cook over 70.5 rushing and receiving yards at -112, and I'm taking his TD at +150.
You are locked and loaded. And there's our guy WT with a $10 dono from down in Costa Rica. Man, I wish I could be sitting right beside you at a bar right now setting up our action for football here, 37 minutes away from kickoff. Thank you, WT, for the $10 dono. Thank you for blessing all of our action with that. Very, very kind, your hard-earned cash for us. And Spenny, we need you for our live streams this weekend, Sunday, Monday, whenever works best for you.
And I can do Thanksgiving too.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Thursday. So for you guys know, we have a triple header of live streams on Thursday. I'll be sitting here for 12 hours boozing with you guys and getting paid. Let's go over all of these looks from Spenny Penny Bombs. Derrick Henry, Calvin Ridley is where he starts. And Nico Collins, he's taken their yards, and then he's also taken their alternate for a bigger score. Reynolds, DJ Moore receiving yards as well. And the Derrick Henry's receiving yards. Njoku receiving yards as well. And then Cooper Kupp and 100+. And James Cook over 70.5 rushing receiving yards. And then the ATD for James Cook as well. Spenny, I loved how you've bounced back off of that tough week. It's inspiring for cappers to know that you just got to keep fighting and believing. In those bad weeks, they happen. But you have to have more great weeks than you have bad weeks. And that's what you've done. Placed second last year in his first year on NFL Pub second. And he was up just under 19 units on only like 44 bets, which was spectacular work. And after today, he'll be back in the black here on this season. Thank you, Spenny.
We're going right for the back. We're coming for that shit. I'm going right up that leaderboard. Let's go, boys.
I love it. I love it. Please follow Spenny on Twitter at PennyGee_. Spenny, you're the man. Thank you for making time for us. There he is, Spenny Penny Bombs. We go from Toronto to a man who once made his home in Toronto. Now he's in New York City. He's easily one of the top stand-up comedians in North America. You can catch him touring all over North America. The man is on the road every weekend in a different city, and that's why we don't get him on the show enough. But he's at home in New York this weekend, so he's joining us, and I can't wait to have him on the show. Please welcome Mr. Alex Pavone to the show. Pavi, how are you, my friend?
Jimmy, what's going on, dude? I'm a little roughed up. Went out last night, and hopefully my picks make me feel a little bit better today because I ain't doing well, Jim.
What happened? Yeah, I can see
Jesus,
it. You need more lights. You need more lights.
Holy, I look gray, Jim. Jeez.
Pavi. Okay, Pavi, let's get right to work here. Chargers, Packers at Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We have the public on one side, the Sharps on another side. What side are you on?
I hope I'm with the Sharps. I like the Packers, man. I it's Lambeau. It's starting to get chilly. This Chargers team, man, I don't know what's going on with them. Herbert has a heck of a game. That offense has a heck of a game last week. They still lose. The defense can't get any stops. I think the Packers have been playing pretty well recently. So even though they lost last week, you got to take them at home with the points. So that's my side. Please, Sharps are on that side or what?
They certainly are. They've been there all week.
Perfect.
Packers +3 at -110 for Pavi. Pavi, next up for you, Tennessee Titans at Jacksonville Jaguars, Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. I need the Jacksonville Jaguars to win to stay alive in all my Survivor contests, and we're down to just 4, the Pub Sports one. Take it away. What is your plan? You're moving on the side here in Titans Jags.
Yeah, look, I hope you win. I hope you win under a touchdown. I do like the Titans in this one. After that pitiful performance from the Jags, I think at home you're just going to see a bunch of people go, "Oh, I could get the Jags under a touchdown against this Titans team that obviously is not having a great year. Give me the Jags." So I like the Titans in that, just for that particular reason, to be honest with you. I think in a divisional game when you got Vrabel with 6.5 points, you take it. So I'm gonna be on the Titans. A lot of money on the Jags. I will wait till right before kickoff to see if I could get a 7. If not, I'm gonna still take it at 6.5, but I will wait and I will take the Titans.
Well, you can get a 7 at Pinnacle. You can get a 7 at -114. Is that too expensive? The 4 cents?
No, I could do it.
All right, you got it. Titans +7 at -114 available right now at Pinnacle. Proof Bets also sprinkling on the Titans money line. Gagnon saying Jags D's performing very well. They fell back last week against 49ers. And he thinks that they bounce back the D against the Titans. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Steelers, Browns in Cleveland, Ohio. And I just moved on the side that I believe you are on. Take it away here for us, Steelers, Browns.
Yeah, I'm already on that Browns money line, -130. I got it at. Obviously, with no Watson, that's, I guess, cause for concern, but he hasn't been tremendous this year. That defense is what carries that team. And last week they won, come from behind fashion, and they won with their defense not playing well. So I expect that defense to come and really have a great game, especially against Pickett, who's I've never been a Pickett fan. The Steelers do keep winning though. They manage to find ways to win, which is a little concerning, but I'm seeing that they're one of the most public dogs straight up this week. And anytime, the public's on the dogs straight up money line, I tend to go the other way. And I was already leaning Cleveland. So there it is. Give me the Browns. I love that defense, and I expect them to bounce back.
You got it. Browns -130 still available. Let's move on to the next spot on your board, and that is the Dallas Cowboys at Carolina Panthers, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. I thought we'd have more people breaking this game down. We did hear from Marley on the under 43.5, but that's it at this point. And I believe that CMAC will be discussing it as well. but I moved on the Panthers, and I thought that when I got to the show today that I would be backed up. Now, we do know that Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day, which is being hitting so successfully, is on the Carolina Panthers. And then in our next segment with CMAC, I thought we had one more. Yes, we do. We have one more capper talking about this, our final one. Take it away for us here, Pavi. Cowboys, Panthers.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is the one you just close your eyes and you hit enter when you're betting the Panthers for sure. It's ugly. Oh my God. I feel bad for Bryce. He really doesn't have, too many offensive weapons to help him out, and he looks rattled. But 10.5, I got it at 11 actually. This is more of everyone's on the Cowboys. This is like, a huge public side. I think the Cowboys, with Thanksgiving around the bend are, they do beat up on bad teams. It is concerning, but Thursday they got a big game and, nationally televised, obviously Thanksgiving. I just think 11 points is so much for a very desperate Panther team. And like, and then the Cowboys obviously gonna look ahead spot here for Thursday. So I don't love it, but with all the money on the Cowboys and then their scheduling, I have to take the Panthers. Will I be watching the game? No. But I have to take the Panthers. I don't want to do a lot of things, Jim, but I have to do it.
No, I understand. I understand very well. And I think it will make you feel better. The great Dennis Garcia, Sky Dragon, is on Panthers money line.
That doesn't make me feel good at all, but thank God.
And this won't make you feel good either. It's 11.5 now. So
now I feel sick to my stomach, Jim.
So you got 11.5 minus 108. Finally, the market's submitting. They weren't moving in the line at all for so long, but they have been now. Let's move on to your Sunday night action. We'll be right here live Sunday night, as we always are on Pub Sports Radio. You have Sunday night action and Monday night action. We'll be live for both of those. We'd love if you could jump on with us if you got time, Pavi. But take it away. Vikings, Broncos, Mile High, Denver, Colorado. What's the plan?
Broncos have been playing really well lately, obviously. Fortuitous bounces last week against the Bills. But, Dobbs, I'm scared to step in front of Dobbs, to be perfectly honest with you. The guy's playing great. I actually like the guy a lot. But, this is a good spot for the Broncos. I like the under in this spot. But, primetime unders have hit so frequently that I'm like, I sort of want to back off and not touch. I don't want to deal with totals this year. They've been so crazy with all the unders. But I guess I got to take the Broncos in this spot under a field goal. I'm sorry. They've been playing a lot better. The defense is getting healthy. And, I think, the love affair that people have for the Vikings is, I'm a contrarian in that aspect. So just for that simple reason, I will take Denver, because the public's going to be on the Vikings as well, especially money line. So I'll take Denver. If it gets to 3, I sort of back off, but at 2.5, I'll take them.
And it did get to 3, but it's come back to 2.5.
Yeah. Well, that's not good either.
A lot of it, I was expecting Jefferson to be announced in, and I was so excited about him being announced in and thinking about what line I would get. And it was a huge mistake. Now it's back at 2.5, and the total's gone up to 42.5. So I think I can move on both now, which I'll do after the show. But let's get you the minus 2.5 right now on the Broncos, minus 2.5. Broncos minus 2.5 and minus 112. And you are locked in. Let's move on to the Monday nighter, Pavi. Eagles, Chiefs. And this is a spot that I have not moved on yet. I can't wait to watch the game. If I could get a 3 right now on the Eagles, I imagine that would make sense. And it looks like that could be back here right now. The 2.5 on the Chiefs is minus 118. So maybe if I'm patient, it will get back to 3. But it's a real tough spot to have an edge that you can really be confident in when the two, arguably two best teams in the league are going at it against each other. So, and the Eagles do have Jurgens and Roby back. I think that's hugely helpful. And the Chiefs got Onwenu back, but now lose Bolton. Take it away for us here, Eagles, Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy that if I could get Mahomes under a field goal, I'm going to take him for sure. A lot of people are just going to be like, "All right, Eagles, revenge spot from the Super Bowl," but I think the Chiefs want to win just as badly every week. They're that team. They're champions for a reason. That being said, I think you're right. I think this game's very, very tricky. Personally, I would wait in game. I don't live bet, but I would wait in game for the Eagles to go up. And if I could get Mahomes at plus money straight up, I'll take that. This game, I sort of was on the fence with. I actually, if I could flip it on you here, I think I really like the Bills. So this game, I will take the Chiefs still under 2.5 just because Mahomes under a field goal. But I really woke up this morning and I was like, man, the Bills are due, man. The Bills at, I got them at 8. I think it's moving up. Everything about that game, Bills team total over. I think they're going to smash them. And I sort of like the over in that game too. If the Jets could give you 1 touchdown, I think that might be going over. I think the Bills are coming for their jugulars. Sorry to switch it on you there, Jimmy, but
good.
I just feel like this game is a lot tougher, and but again, I won't fold. I'll take the Chiefs 2.5, even though it is a tough game for sure.
We'll give you Bills -8, -115. Did you want to add the over or the team total over? Or any other angle on that one?
I'm concerned with the Jets getting anything, but I think they could. A lot of people are going to be on that under, and I feel like the line went up 1.5 points. I just like the Bills I just love the Bills this weekend. Like, I think they are ready. There's so many bad bounces last on Monday night, sorry, and they haven't covered in 7 straight. I mean, this is the game here for them. So,
yeah, I was saying it all week.
I mean, they need it.
And
They
Micah
need
Hyde back. I got the 7. I'm all over it. But did you want to add anything to the side there, or just take the Bills -8, -115?
Yeah, do that, man. These totals are I don't want to be the guy to. Eventually, it's the overs are gonna start to hit, but I don't want to be the guy to step in front of those unders until I see it. And that's it. And I have a question for you, Jim. Sorry,
Yes.
I need to know about how you feel about this Commies and Giants game, because I want to back the Giants, but DeVito kills me, dude. He kills me. The guy sounds like he imports prosciutto from Bologna. I can't get behind this guy, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I can't either. I
God.
respect every sharp being on the Giants enough to not bet the Commanders, but I just can't. I just don't want to do it. Can't do it. I've got enough action to see here, but when you see the market move on such a garbage fire football team with a horrific quarterback, you don't want to. I'm not going to go up against it, but I'll just wish them the
Fair.
best and stay off of it. Did
Fair.
you want to add it?
No, Jim. Jeez.
I feel you. Pavy's on the Bills -8 at -115. He's on the Chiefs -2.5, -110. Broncos -2.5, -112. Panthers +11.5 at -108. Browns money line at -130. Titans +7 at -114. And the Packers +3 at -110. Pavy, it is great to have you back in action, my man. Where can our fans see you next? Where are you next weekend?
Oh, buddy, it's American Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to be knee deep. I'm going to be fisting a turkey, bud. What are you talking about? There's nothing. Doing zip. But follow me on Instagram, Mr. Alex Pavone. Thanks for having me, Jim. You're the best, and good to be back here. And good luck today and tomorrow and in life. You're a good kid.
Thank you. There he is, Mr. Alex Pavone, currently touring across North America right now. Let's move on to our next guest, closing up the show, our headline. And we haven't had him in a long time, and we miss him. He's been a big part of the Peter Loshak show, which you can see every Tuesday. He's a big part of Betting with the Bag as well, and he's been crushing it. Now, we have CMAC is top 5 perennially. What the hell's wrong with me? always a top 5 capper here on our show. And last time we had him, week 3 was a rough week. Now, he's had rough weeks before, and he always bounces back with board sweepage. And he's actually one of the cappers who's had board sweepage multiple times here on the show. I don't know how many people have had that multiple times. He has, and he needs it now, and I believe he will get it. So I'm so happy to have him back. We closed the show from Las Vegas, Nevada. That's pretty much closed down because of F1 right now. But we got him right here, right now. Please welcome Miggity Mac Daddy, Connor Mac. How are you, C-Mac?
That was well said, Jimmy, with my horrible week 3. But yeah, and I bounced right back, to tell you the truth, right the next week after that. But I haven't been on, but let's try to get it today. I don't have props today. I mean, I do have some, but not with the show. But maybe if I get back, I'll get in the swing of that.
Sweet. And we'll also love to have you part of our live streams tonight and tomorrow night if you are available. Of course, you've got it set up for our most popular show on the channel, Hitting the Books. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, program alert. Yeah, we're moving it. Just one time I had to do it. They're doing a bunch of work here. So 6 Eastern. We didn't want to go into the Monday night game, so we're starting right with Mike. So watch Mike finish up with us. We'll be done by the time Monday night the game starts.
Okay, cool.
That's the only time we could get it in, kind of, and we didn't want to do it Tuesday.
If you roll in the game, don't worry about it because you get the massive views from afterwards, not from your live. So don't feel like you need to be done by the time. We could have 2 streams going at the same time. Truly.
Oh yeah. I think we'll be done though, but we might be a little bit into the game. I don't think so.
No pressure. All right, let's roll into this. We start with Titans Jaguars, Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida for CMAC. And we discussed this game at length. And it was interesting because I didn't think anybody would be on the Jags. We have people backing. We have a bunch of cappers backing the Titans. But we did have one capper on the Jags, the Big Ragu. And
I don't like that.
No. And I liked it just because I have him in the Survivor. But I thought that it would be all Titans love. Take it away for us here because we just heard Pavi on the Titans. And before that, we had move over here. We have someone on the under in this one, but we have Pavi on the Titans. Is that it?
Okay.
So we have both sides of the fence there. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, your first game on the board.
Yeah, I like the Titans in this game. Touch on the total was ever on the under. That's where I'd lean to in this game. I know we're only hanging right around the 40, but that's where I'd be in this one. You know, Jags, after the horrible loss last week at home, get drilled by the 49ers, and this could be a big bounce back game. And we've seen from them very inconsistent. When they've won, they've covered. When they lost, they lose in this one. But this was a division game. I'm getting a touchdown here. We can get to that in a second, Jimmy, if you still have a 7. I want Vrabel. You know, they are back-to-back losses. This is their 3rd straight road game for the Titans. So you can look at this side that it's not the best spot for the Titans at all. But I think they could hang in this one. Jags, that secondary has given up some yards. 266 is 30th in the league. I think Levis can have some success and a few big plays at least in this one. He can't turn it over. I was on the Bucs last week. I thought that was him going on the road. It could be a struggle. He was okay. He had a pick. He wasn't great. He's got to be better here. And if he is, I think the Titans are in this one. If you have the 7, get me it because I think they can hang around. I wanted to touch on it because I didn't give this to you, but he's been cold after the 2 or 3 touchdowns he had in Levis's first game. And I talked about that Jags secondary. Look to Hopkins. Look to his receiving yards over 53.5, and his anytime touchdowns plus 245. I think you can find the end zone. I think they want to get him a big player too. So look for Hopkins if you're looking props in this game.
You got Titans plus 7 minus 114. Is that cheap? That's just what we that's available right now. Pavi took the 7.
Yeah, give me the 7.
Plus 7 at minus 114. We move on to Cardinals at Houston Texans. And we've had both sides and totals discussed on this show here. And your look has not been discussed. So why don't we take it away, C-Mac, Cardinals, Texans?
I think you touched on this, though, earlier a little bit with this game. The injuries are crazy with both sides of these teams, of these teams. And a lot of it, the offenses are still pretty healthy. There are some stuff, but Connor's back. We know Kyler Murray's back. I like the Cardinals last week. I like the Cardinals here. This seems everyone loves the Texans. Now they're 6 points basically. So I wouldn't mind taking the Cardinals here, but I think the offense that we can get over this number. There's not many overs I like. I might have a lean on another two. I like a ton of unders on this card, but I think we get over. Is there a 47.5 out there? Or just 48?
Oh, sorry. Switched over to the wrong side. Let me just grab this here. Sorry. Here we go. There is. How many are there? Yes, there are 47.5s.
Give me that over.
Okay. Over. Now, there's only two. One at Pinnacle at -108 and one at Pavone. The rest are at 48. So over 47.5 at -108. I'm interested on quickly, and I think we have time, still 15 minutes till kickoff, and CMAC has 2 games left, and we want to review everybody's action. But what is your expectation of Kyler Murray in game 2?
I think he's fine. I think we're good here. And like I talked about, it's hard to make up how much this Texans defense, because they've been pretty good when they've been healthy. You mentioned Ward's out already, and they're dealing with a few other guys. I don't trust this defense, and I saw the Bucks go up and down on them. An offense that isn't great. I like that under a little bit in that 49ers game later today, and they've been an under team, the Bucks. So I just at this number with the Cardinals, and their defense is a little bit skewed. Some of their numbers, who they've played, I think, a little bit lately. We'll get to the Raiders here in this game coming up. I feel the same way. So yeah, I'm on the over, and I think the Cardinals can hang. I think Murray's all right, and I'm a huge CJ Stroud fan. He's made a ton of money for me. I love it. Now they're laying points, and I think you take the dog or pass on the side in this game.
Over 47.5 at -108. We move over to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Raiders, Dolphins. I got in on the Dolphins -12 on Tuesday. And I haven't bet a double-digit favorite in I don't know 3 years, 4 years. I'm trying to get over that because they're cashing all the time. It's not like it's this public spot where the gamblers are getting killed. They're cashing at a high rate. I don't know why I'm so afraid of moving on it. Take it away. And so I'm trying to change it now. Maybe it blows up my face here, but my first one in years. Raiders, Dolphins. Take it away for us here, C-Mac.
Yeah, I think Miami rolls in this game. You know what I went to? I looked at the team total, which I don't mind. And now the full game, still, I think it's okay at 14. I mean, are there basically 14.5s everywhere?
Well, okay. Funny because that team total is what Sean Higgs decided to move on.
I looked at that really hard. You know what I'm going to go with here out of the chute? I'm going to go, if you still have the 7.5, I guess even 8.
There's no 14.5s. There's only 14s, and there's 13.5s now.
Okay, I see most 14.5s. I'm going first half, though, here. Give me the 7.5 or 8. I'm going that route. I think they jump on them. A few things. Dolphins, third best team first half, point-wise. But I think they're number 1 at home. 22 points they average at home, points per game. The Raiders, on the flip side, on the road, average 7 points. I think the Dolphins jump on them quick off the bye. I think they're healthy. And the Raiders haven't played anybody. Yeah, I mean, these, they beat the Pats. They get rid of Daniels. Antonio Pierce comes in. They beat the Giants, then the Jets, who can't get in the end zone. So their numbers are skewed because their secondary, by the way, is not good. Like some of the rankings, the Raiders, and their schedule has been a cakewalk. They don't have a great secondary. Dolphins first half, and you have a 7.5, 8. It doesn't matter. I think they're going to be up by 10 or more. So I'm on
7.5 available at 2 different books. Right. First half -7.5 at -110 for CMAC. Let's move into the final spot on the board and the final spot on our show before we review all action, and that's the Dallas Cowboys and Carolina Panthers here in this one. And I was very interested to see what Marley was going to do with this game. I was nervous because he is very, very good with the Cowboys. He's a team, he just nails them. And he's on the under 43.5. I was very thankful because I'm on the Panthers and Pabby's on the Panthers, and this line hadn't moved. and I was so happy I had moved. And then in the last hour and a half, of course, it starts moving. Now
Yeah.
at 11.5, which makes me nervous and probably should have waited. Take it away for us here, CMAC. Our final game on the card: Dallas Cowboys, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I don't like to see that here. I always find in the NFL, the last hour is the wild what you really see. Literally, you know what I mean? You see the littlest moves the hours before, but literally the last hour with these moves in the NFL. I don't love it either. I even took the Panthers since they couldn't get in the end zone. I think they should have covered that game, even won it against the Vikings. It was pretty sad. I haven't bet them since. But I think the Cowboys, you want them in Thanksgiving in 4 days. I don't want this team here. They've beat nobody on the road at all. All they've done is loss here. So San Francisco, Arizona, bad loss. San Francisco, they got beat down 42-10. They barely get by the Chargers. That game could have went either way. And, of course, at Philadelphia. So this seems like a cakewalk. This is a hold your nose type game. I need Dak to be Dak bad here. He's got to keep that game under, too. So that helps out. So, that the Panthers defense is all right. They're not great. They're not horrible. So, Young hurts. Just him back there, he hasn't done much all year long. He doesn't have a ton of weapons. But I got to do it. Give me the best, 11, even 11.5. I'm taking the points here, holding my nose on this game.
I'm doing the same thing. It's Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today. And it didn't move all week. I was certain that this was the right look. Now it's 11.5, and I'm the same way as you. That especially with totals. When I see like a big move in the last hour, I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. Let me ask you a question quickly. Are you surprised that the total in Minnesota Denver has climbed to 42.5, knowing that Jefferson will be out and that there's been a late run on the Vikings?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought it was a little bit low. I just think maybe they're thinking we could start to get a little bit more points in some of these primetime games. But Denver's been great to the under. The Vikings defense has been better, Jimmy. So I kind of disagree. I like the under in that game and the Broncos.
Well, I'd -2.
Vikings are a huge public dog too.
Yeah.
They're hammering them.
I've been screwing up these spots when there's a star player possibly coming back. So instead of moving on the -2 and the under 43 on Tuesday night, I was like, let's just wait. I think Jefferson's going to be in. I think he's going to be in. And of course, he's announced out. It's a 41-3. But now it's 42.5 and 2.5. And I think it's worth. I think I move on it as soon as the show ends here.
I'm leaning that way already with the Broncos for tonight.
Panthers plus 11.5. Dolphins first half -7.5. The over 47.5 in Arizona, Houston, and Titans +7 for CMAC. CMAC, great to have you back in action on the show. You're a big part of this show, and I want you on as much as possible. So thank you for making time for us. And again, we have a schedule change hitting the books. It's 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah. 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I'll tweet it out.
Cool.
So one time only. It's kind of a last minute thing, had to be done. We didn't want to go Tuesday too. There are games, so tomorrow. 6 Eastern.
It's great how you guys are first in the market. Thank you for making time for us. Al Service says, can't wait for this Browns kickoff. We're 7 minutes away. I'll review all the action. Please follow CMAC on X at Connor Mac Picks. And of course, check him out throughout the week on our channel. Mondays hitting the books, Tuesday the Pete Loshak show. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you will see him. I've got to fix my schedule up, but you'll see him on Betting with the Bag. And then you also see him on our live streams. And then of course, he hosts our big Saturday live stream. And that's already been chosen for you. I saw already. It's Ohio State, Michigan. Yeah, it's already picked a lot. So.
I hope we're doing that game. We got a problem for now. Yeah. Shit.
I love it, T-Mac. Thank you for making time for us, my man.
Hell yeah. Thanks, boys. Let's cash big.
There he is, Connor Mack. Let's review all action here on the show and put sorry, I don't see Vic there. And put a bow on our show. Shoot. Okay, let me get this off. Our producer is missing in action. There we go. Oh, let me try that again. There we go. All right, let's put a bow on this show and review all action. By the way, Slatsy gave us his great cup action. He's on the Alouettes +8.5, the under 47.5, and Coleros under 272.5 passing yards, and Brady Oliveira anytime touchdown. I like his looks. I like his looks a lot. I like his looks a lot. So I'm just gonna pop it in the chat for you guys to see. This is our guy, Slatsy's great cup action here. Lock that in. Okay, so let's go over the action here on the show. I'm on Dolphins -12, Tampa Bay, San Francisco under 41.5. I'm very lukewarm. By the way, no capper picked that game, which shocked me. I'm on Panthers +10.5, Bills -7, and Rams -2. I added the Browns -2, and I'm going to add the Broncos -2.5 and the under 42.5 in the Broncos game here. And I've got an SGP ready to go. Javonte Williams rush prop has moved from 47 or 67.5 to 69.5. I was planning on using that because we know what Peyton's been doing, running the ball so heavy. So I'll have to spend a little bit more time on the SGP, but we're 3-2 on SGPs, man. We're up over 11.5 units. So I love that. Trans Canada, thank you, my man. I could have been swimming, baby. I wouldn't have sued them later in life, I'll tell you that much. I would have been proud of it. Pub Sports Circa Millions ticket. We're 28, 20-2, top 800, 3.5 points away from the top 100. They pay out the top 100. Bills -7, Browns pick 'em, Eagles +2.5, Chargers -3, Dolphins -13.5. Marley gave us the under 43.5 in Dallas, Carolina, the over 44 in Chargers, Packers, Lions -7.5, and Big Ragu gave us the Steelers money line, Jaguars -6.5, Commanders team total over 23.5, and he gave us the Broncos -2.5, -112, and the under 45.5 in the Monday nighter. And his teaser Lions -1.5, Packers +9. Razor Sharp Picks gave us the Browns money line, Houston -5 at -108, Seahawks +2 at -108, and the under 42.5 -110 in Minnesota, Denver. And he also gave us the under 45.5 in Philly, KC. Might be a perfect chance in that game because with those scripted offenses with these two teams that that could be 7-7 early and we could get a live under. Both coaches are going to try to keep the opposing offense off the field. It's going to be a really fun Monday night. It's going to be really fun Sunday night. The Vikings, Broncos made so much money last week and we cashed the SGP. We cleared over a K on last Mondays. Last Broncos game. So let's do that again. Higgs is on Browns moneyline, Packers +3, the under 48 in Arizona, Houston, Dolphins team total over 29.5, Bills team total over 24.5. Pistol Pete Loshak's on the Browns -2, Dolphins -14, and the Rams -1. Spenny Penny bombs, and these are props. So let's go through them. He's got Derrick Henry over 11.5 receiving yards and 25 or more at +220. He's got Calvin Ridley over 47.5 receiving yards and 60 or more at +128. Nico Collins over 15.5 receiving yards and 70 or more at +146. Reynolds over 28.5 receiving yards and 40 or more at +162. DJ Moore over 58.5 receiving yards and 70 or more at +190. Njoku over 30.5 receiving yards and 40 or more at +154. Cooper Kupp over 77.5 receiving yards and 100 or more at +164. James Cook over 70.5 rush receiving and a touchdown at +1 and ATD at +150. Alex Pavone gave us Packers +3, Titans +7, Browns money line, Panthers +11.5, Broncos -2.5, Chiefs -2.5, and Bills -8. And then C-Mac just gave us Titans +7 over 47.5, Dolphins first half -7.5, and Panthers +11.5. That's our show. Thank you guys so much. We have absolutely nothing without you. I love being on this show. I love hearing all of the cappers in the chat section. I love hearing all our cappers on screen. I love hearing their action. I love solidifying our plan for the day and then attacking the board. And we can't do it without you guys. Equanimus, Harold Williams, Jason Meyer, the Nuke Worker, Nunya, Trance Canada, Man, Bear, Pig, Ramon, Scott, Alex Ramirez, Parlangel, Spenny Penny Bombs, Al Cervic, Trap God, Real Deal Prime, Adam Whitehead. Thank you guys, man. The Cheshire Cat, Von Polo. We have truly nothing without all of your support. Brooklyn Funk Project, Brad Oliver. Thank you guys. I'm that Heat. Big Show picks. Now, we have Big Show picks and Sharpie right after this. In 2 minutes, the Red Zone coverage with Big Show picks and Sharpie. So jump over there. Dav Fenn, Christopher Comentini, Dom Play. Thank you guys. Truly, truly thank you. Nate Dogg 420. Now let's go out there and get that cash, man. Kickoff about to pop off. Let's go out there. Oh, I'm going to have to close this. Let me set this up. Sorry. I'm going to need some big outro and then not be here. All right. Thank you guys. Now let's go out there and do what we do. Get fucking paid in full. Week 11. I need to bounce back from a rough week 10. I've had 2 horrible weeks and then one like 50-50 week and then 7 winning weeks. And I'm down 2 units on the year because of how bad those 2 weeks were. I got to bounce back right here, right now. And I'm confident. I'm going to get that cash. Let's just, for good luck, see a picture of Pete. He's never ridden a bike before. He's never driven a car before. This was some video content that we received that Pete has been trying to learn how to bike Now let's go out there and get that fucking cash.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Dabby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Conor Mack.